Hey guys, it's Hannah. I am going to do my October wrap-up because it's November now, just to tell you guys what books I read in October. So to get started, I finished up The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. This is the second book in the Kingkiller Chronicles. The first one is The Name of the Wind. It's a high fantasy series, and it was amazing. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars, the same as The Name of the Wind. It is the continuing of Kvothe, the main character. His story, it's pretty much kind of in media res a little bit, so he is in the present telling his story to a chronicler. So they are writing down his story, but you get to hear everything that he did when he was younger and all of the experiences that he had, and it's just an amazing story and such a hero's journey-ish. But it's really, I know that it's intimidating, but it's so good, and you will not regret getting into it, I promise. Next up, I finished the Throne of Glass series. I read the Crown of Midnight first, well, second after Throne of Glass, but I finished Throne of Glass in August. I listened to it on audiobook, and so then I went out and picked up Crown of Midnight and then Heir of Fire. And these books, again, they're fantasy, and they're so good. Sarah J. Maas did an amazing job with just character development and the whole aspect of just introducing new characters and having them work out so well, and just have her, Selena Sardothian, go through her journey, and there's plot twists and magic and fights and swordsmanship and intrigue and death, and you guys, it's just so good. I can't tell you what happens in these because spoilery, but definitely go pick out the first one. It's called Throne of Glass, and it's amazing. I give both of these 5 out of 5 stars again. Thirdly, I decided to pick up 172 Hours by Johan Harstad. It's October, and I had been reading fantasy the whole time, so I kind of wanted to pick up something horror-ish. I'm not a horror movie person. I don't like being scared, but I decided to give it a go because all the reviews that I'd heard about this book was that it was a horror story disguised as science fiction, and that it was so scary and people weren't able to sleep. And so I was actually looking forward to that, to getting scared, because it is near Halloween, and so I picked this up. I was a little bit disappointed. It's not a bad book by any means. It has a good plot and it's a cool story, but I feel like Johan Harstad didn't live up to the premise that he had. It was first written in Norway, so this is a translated version into English, so I do understand how some discrepancies could happen, but still I felt it was a little lackluster in detail and character fleshing out, and my ability to actually delve in and get gripped by it. So it was a little bit disappointing, but all in all a good book. I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars, I believe, on Goodreads. And that was the last book that I finished in October, but after that, kind of in a book slump. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot. After 172 Hours on the Moon, I picked up The Assassin's Curse by Cassandra Rose Clarke, and this looked like an amazing book. I bought this because Prose Project had recommended it in one of her book hauls, and the publisher who publishes these books, this one and the second one, it's called A Pirate's Wish, wasn't going to publish them anymore, and this cover just looks so amazing, and so I was intrigued. It's about pirates and assassins. This is where a girl who is the daughter of a pirate lord is married to another pirate lord's son for a treaty, and she ends up running away. They send an assassin after her. This curse happens that binds them together, and they have to go and try and break it. And it, again, the premise was really good, and I was so excited for this, but I again got let down. The author didn't really use that much detail, and I just couldn't get into it. It was kind of painful to try and finish. I got like 200 pages in and I was still not liking it. I feel like it has a good journey and there are some cool aspects to it, but a lot of it wasn't described very well, and we didn't understand what exactly was happening, and then the author would kind of write as if we knew what was happening when in real life we didn't understand anything because there wasn't an explanation. Yeah, so I give this book a 3, or I think a 2 out of 5 stars, just because it wasn't what I was looking for, and again, I don't think I'll be continuing on with this series just because it was a little bit painful to keep reading. So after I finished that, I was quite disappointed because going after the Throne of Glass series, which was such an amazing series, I knew that I was going to hit a book slump. That's why I started right off and read 172 Hours on the Moon, and then kept reading Assassin's Curse, and it did not help my book slump at all. It actually made it even worse. So I was, just because they weren't something that brought me out of it, they kind of dug me more into it, basically because I just wanted to keep reading the Heir of Fire and like go back and read the Throne of Glass. And so I picked up a book that I've heard has amazing reviews almost all the way across the board, and I haven't really heard too many bad things about it, so I decided to pick up The Diviners by Lova Bray. It doesn't have the dust jacket on it right now, but this is a book set in the 20s. I've only read the first, like, 5 pages because I just picked this up yesterday, but there's already a Ouija board involved, and they located a spirit called Naughty John, and I know that that's the, apparently he's a ghost of a serial killer, and that's what happens in this premise, or in this, like, the plot. I know that it's a very, like, thriller-like kind of detective, a little bit, maybe? Yeah, let's go with that. And so I'm excited to read this. Hopefully it'll get me out of my reading slump, and yeah, so we'll see about that. Alright, so that is all for October. I am going to put a November TBR up soon, and I hope that you guys will keep watching. Alright, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!